So clearly you were frustrated after Saturday's game, but all in all, when you look at the table and the other results around you from Saturday, the damage was actually pretty minimal.
I said to the lads this morning, I said someone's shining down on us. It's we keep getting ourselves into a position where we can climb into the top six, and we just don't quite do it. But luckily for us, the teams around us are not doing that either, and we've got 4 of them coming up in the next 4 games. So we know these next 2 games especially are 6 pointers for us. It can put a good marker down for us for the rest of the season. I think we're in the best position the club's been in for 2 or 3 years in terms of we're just outside the playoffs and 3 points. And if somebody, I said to the lads this morning, if someone had said to me at the start of the year, you've 14 games to go and you're 3 points off for playoffs, I'd have definitely took that. We're progressing. We're getting. Although we got beat at the weekend in injury time, and I said after the game I was more disappointed in the discipline matters, which have been dealt with this morning. They're done. They're dusted, and we move on to tomorrow now. It's massive game for us tomorrow, and we need to make sure we put another good performance on at home like we did in the last one.
Yeah, and of course the big deal, as it were, with the discipline issues is that not only does it cost you for the game itself, but suddenly you have a bit more of a challenge for Tuesday night and going forward. Anthony Grant, Chris Forrester now confirmed, I think, is both 2 games out, so something to think about and obviously rearrange a little bit.
Yeah, well, right away we'll have to make 3 changes to the team, so it's frustrating because ideally, at this stage of the season, I'd love to have, trying the nucleus of a settled squad together. I've always said this month was going to test us in terms of our squad, and players are going to have to step into, the Saturday, Tuesday games and step in, and they have done. We've taken 6 points from 12. We know these 2 home games coming up now they're games not to be feared. They're games that we can win for sure. 100% we can win. They're teams around us. We're getting into them thinking positively now. We're no disrespect to Southend tomorrow night and the game on Saturday against Rochdale. We know what their strengths are, but we need to focus on ourselves. We know we need to play with more flair and attacking areas and create more chances. But on a whole this season, I think we're, looking at the stats this morning, I think we're the fifth in the league in terms of the chances we create. So, but we know we can improve on that. That's the thing, and we need to start taking them chances now. In
terms of cover for tomorrow, we spoke last week about Michael Bostwick. There wasn't really any chance he could be available. It would be great to have him back. Is there anything you can do to get him out there?
Yeah, there is. We'll wheel him out. We got to be careful with Michael Bostwick. He's it's a tricky one with him. I don't want to go into the detail of it, but it's tricky. But I've had that conversation with Michael in the physio this morning, so we'll see how we go tomorrow.
Could Dominic Ball be an option in midfield if you wanted to add a bit more grit? It is a position he's played in the past. Is that something you've thought about?
Yeah, Ball, he played there half a season for Rangers midfield, and that's an option for us. We've got Callum Chetler there as well. We've got Leonardo da Silva Lopez. We've got options in there. Midfield is an area where we've got plenty of options, and every week there's 2 or 3 of them left off the bench. So it's definitely an area we've got options, and people, when this happens in a squad, that's why we have a squad. That's why people have to step up to the plate now, and I'm sure they will.
With talking about the discipline on Saturday, always when you come out after a match, I guess there's a balancing act as to how much you talk about a particular point, but you really mentioned that one. Was that a case of just making sure the players knew how serious you are about that situation and how unhappy you were?
Yeah, the discipline that has probably stemmed from the back end of last season. I think one of the first things I had to do when I was appointed the manager was go to the FA and sit in front of them, and because I think we counted up the most yellow cards in the whole of the Football League last year. So we've improved on that aspect. I think definitely that we've improved on, but discipline for me means everything you do off the pitch as well. Little things like, if you're going to get your dinner off the chef, go and put your plate back, give your knife and fork back to him, put your salt back, put your everything like that. If you're having a bottle of water, make sure you put it in the bin when you finish with it. Things that have improved in terms of the squad this year. I think that game they set back off it a little bit. They took their foot off the pedal. and it came from obviously McCann, who I've had the conversation with this morning. And, it's how you act off the pitch in terms of discipline as well, and we've definitely improved in that this season. That was the first time where I thought, I couldn't recognise some of the things I was seeing. My centre half and my goalkeeper fighting each other, and my captain getting sent off, and things like that. It's silly things that we need to improve on. We are improving on little things like decisions in training. If a decision goes against you, I'm not a referee. Gloves is not a referee. Faz is not a referee. It's get on with it. It happens, and that's things that we have improved on this year, and we need to tighten up on that for the rest of the games.
Let's focus on Southend. What do you make of the season they've had? They've got a number of experienced players in there, and they seem to be quite a good unit.
Yeah, they are. They're a good unit. They're quite similar in terms of where they are in the league to us. They're just above us. So people are saying that they're having a good season, but so are we. I said this before we played Northampton. People were saying how good a season Northampton were having, and we were only a couple of points behind them. So it's we need to stay in the reality here. We are in a good position now. If you keep saying to me, we're talking the other day, we keep saying we're 3 points off the playoffs, but the games are getting less and less and less and less, and we are in a position where we haven't been for a couple of years in terms of the points we've accumulated at this stage. So we need to make sure that we stay amongst it now. We've got some big games coming up, definitely 6-pointers the next two, and it's games that the boys are looking forward to. It's not to be feared of. I think we've produced in the big games this season on a whole, and these two are massive.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? It's a nice week you've got coming up, because if you do your job on your own turf, then you're going to be in a great position come the end of it.
Yeah, your home. I touched on it before the Shrewsbury game. Our home form is going to be key for us for the running. These two games coming up, when you're at home, you're looking to take maximum points for sure. We're all aware of that, and that's what we'll try and do.
And with the injuries, we saw Guion stretchered from the pitch on Saturday. How's he?
He's sore. He's going to have a scan and stuff today. We still haven't had the results back. Until then, I can't really comment on what we think it's going to be or not. But we're keeping our fingers crossed it's not, a really serious one. So I'll probably know more on Guion this afternoon.
Yeah, so it's not a case of the swelling being so bad that the scan won't show you what you need to see. You're hoping that once you've got those details, it should be pretty clear.
Oh, it'll be pretty clear. Straight after the scan, we'll know the extent of the damage, and we're hoping it's not. He's a tough boy, Guion. He is a tough little boy, tough little cookie, and he's took some whacks this year, to be fair to him, and I'm hoping that it's not as serious as what we first thought.
In terms of other injuries, we mentioned Michael Bostwick. I think the situation with Harry Anderson is that he's edging ever closer.
Harry is. He's not far behind, to be fair. He was out there today working hard with a fitness coach again, but he's in terms of his fitness, he's probably a little bit behind than where Jack Baldwin is at this stage. So he may need an extra 4 or 5 days or a week with the fitness coach just to get him up to speed with it. So it's another good body to have coming back. He was excellent for Lincoln early part of the season, and like I've touched on it before, when we brought him back, we didn't know the extent of his damage in his knee as well. So delighted to have him back in the next week or two.